Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first installment of the year of Property Unplugged with Stanbic Bank and Tempest Gold. We're very excited to have Tebo Maribe here with us, who is the home loan specialist at Stanbic Bank. And before we start, we'd sincerely like to apologize for the slight delay, and we're promising an action-packed show with a lot of education and informative information that you need to know when you are purchasing a house, as well as the whole mortgage process. I also encourage you all that are watching to please pose your questions on the comment section as we do proceed. We will be handling those at the end of the show. Once we're done discussing with Mr. Maribe. Maribe, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Neltah.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
May you kindly tell the viewers at home a little bit about yourself and what you do at Stanbic Bank?
Well, Tebo Maribe is an employee of Stanbic Bank. He works as a home loan specialist. So basically, in a nutshell, we do lead generation from across all the state agents. We facilitate origination processes from beginning to end in terms of client interactions for home loans.
Right. Now, our topic today is obviously on purchasing property. And every single one of us want to have a piece of land.
True.
And the government does give us, that luxury of at least allocating one plot to each Motswana.
True.
But here today, we're here to talk about purchasing already existing properties.
Yeah.
Can you take us through the purchasing property, the purchasing process?
Well, the first thing which is critical for anybody who wants to purchase a house is to visit us so that we can do what we call a credibility or credit assessment. Not a credibility, but a credit assessment in terms of, so you will need to have documentations. I'm talking to your latest pay slip, I'm talking to your valid umang. Also have ready in terms of what is the retirement age with your employer. Also have information regarding what is your current employment status. Is it permanent? Is it contractual? Also, and lastly, for us to be in a position to calculate credit, you will need to also share with us what is your credit history in terms of what types of loans are you currently paying in terms of your vehicle loans, unsecured personal loans, and credit card and so forth.
Right.
Yeah.
You actually touched on two very important points that I would like for you to elaborate on when it comes to the checks that you make. The first one is obviously the age.
Yeah.
The age that you do cover when it comes to affording people the opportunity to apply for mortgages from Stanbic. And the second one is employment.
Yeah.
Not everyone is an employee.
Yeah.
We have people who are self-employed.
True.
We have tenderpreneurs, people who don't have, say, a stable income similar to what an employee would have.
Yeah.
What would you say in that regard? How do you accommodate those? How do you accommodate people who are, say, below 21 years of age, who would like to purchase property and they can afford, or someone, maybe their parent, would like to purchase on their behalf, or someone who is over the age of 60 and they're enjoying their pension but would still like to purchase a property?
Okay, so I'll touch on self-employed individuals. Self-employed individuals, we do have, can give them mortgage applications, although there are specific documentation, additional documentations that will be required at that end. So for instance, when I mean additional, I mean like on top of the KYC documentation, that will be required for a self-employed individual. You're potentially looking at financials being required, cash flow projections, personal balance sheet being required as well. So those are predominantly additional documentation that will be required. And also, you're also required to have your current account or your business account with Stanbic for up to 6 months before a director can be given a mortgage. So those are parameters that are applicable to a self-employed individual. So we do cover them.
Great. Now, when we're moving on to the age factor and the age range.
Yes. So the age factor is also, when you're talking somebody who's plus 60, it's a pensioner, and that is by law we're unable to source out income. So we're limited to the ages of 60. And that is also because of there are certain terminal benefits that, for instance, if you are above the ages of 60, your terminal benefits in terms of your capital disability lapses, and you're only left with your disability. So we are mostly likely to be between the ages of 21 to 60.
Right.
Yeah.
But as an elder, as someone who is above 60, is it possible to get suretyship from maybe your son or your daughter who can afford to pay in case that a 60-year-old or 60-plus-year-old is not able to pay?
Well, if they can use, for instance, most people who are above those ages, I think they have existing property. So they can, I think if you're talking, I think a different product, perhaps maybe equity release, we can use the person who has liability to pay and who has the age or the years behind them for us to give them a mortgage.
Great. So we have talked a little bit, a lot actually, about what kind of services you provide to the different kinds of individuals.
Yes.
Now, at what point does Stanbic step in? If myself as Neltah I'm interested in purchasing a property, obviously I need financing. I may not need financing, but I would say, you know what, let me consider Stanbic to finance my property. What are the steps that are taken? If I come to you, Tebo Maribe, what documents would I need, and how does the process evolve?
Well, I think we have already touched a bit on it with. So the first stage would be pre-assessment. Pre-assessment to actually understand if this individual in front of you can actually get a mortgage or not.
Right.
And then the second stage would probably be the evaluation report, copy of the title deed, all the KYC documentation should be available at that point. And then we move to the next stage, which is submission, which is origination of the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
And what period does it take between the application to the approval? How long does it take?
Well, they are looking at 48 hours, which is about 2 days or so. Yes.
Great. So you have let us know about the documents that are needed, the checks that one needs to also conduct in terms of the loans that are already outstanding, also the ITC checks and what you may have. Are there any factors that can lead to a disapproval, even though you have, you would think you have everything in place? Is there anything common that you have seen clients come in and that make them get a disapproval almost immediately?
Well, numerous. I think you have alluded to one. If an individual has, for instance, an ITC record, or CRB record, which is a platform where banks put listings for individuals.
Right.
Either performing or non-performing, they're all there.
Right.
So there's also, for instance, if you have returned debits on your account. Returned debits, I'm talking to, I have a stop order that is coming out of my account on a monthly basis and I did not honor it. So that is a returned debit. So those are some of the things that can have or mitigate for your application being returned or declined.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Now, There are situations, especially in these uncertain times with COVID-19 and the pandemic, we have witnessed a lot of people losing their jobs, a lot of people, salaries getting, slashed into half or even more. And these individuals, mainly employees, already have commitments. For example, if I have the commitment of having to pay a mortgage to Stanbic, and something of this nature happens, I either lose my job, I become incapacitated. How can Stanbic help me when the situation is really out of my control? What can Stanbic do for me, or what advice would you give those who find themselves in those kind of situations?
That's actually very, very important, given the current situation in terms of COVID and so forth. So you have numerous options available for the customer, but critically, I think the customer needs to come to us. They need to talk to us in terms of tell us what they ideally would like for us to do for them. The first option would be if you're unable to sell, to pay rather. There's an option to sell. If, for instance, if you're talking professionals, they are more likely. The likelihood of a professional getting another job there's a high potential or likelihood that will happen sooner.
Right.
So if they can present that information, then we can potentially motivate for that, so that there is a motivation for what we call a payment holiday for the customer.
Can you just explain to the viewers what a payment holiday is?
A payment holiday is where there's a potential freeze on your interest and capital, which is the installment for a specified amount of period. It could be up to 3 months to 6 months, depending on what has been agreed on.
So it's on a case-by-case basis?
It's on a case-by-case basis,
correct.
True, yes.
Okay.
And thirdly, I think you can potentially look at an option of rental. So there's an option that if rental is sufficient to cover for the mortgage, then you can look at that area as well for the rental income to facilitate the installment. So those are some of the things that we will discuss. But most importantly, I think you must come to us so that we can address some of these things quicker. Because the process itself is painful. Because ideally, non-payment means a certain stage, which is litigation. If non-payment after 3 months, it's litigation and becomes quite an expensive process for you and for us as well. So ideally, we would like to find out how we can best solution for the customer, so that we still want to retain you. So I think.
Now we're going to talk about something a little bit more morbid. We're going to talk about the event of death. If I have a mortgage with Stanbic Bank and I happen to pass away, what happens?
Well, there is what we call home loan protection plan. This is, I think we touched a bit on it when we were talking about ages. So there's a life insurance cover which covers your life in the event of death. So in the event of death, that insurance will kick in to settle the current outstanding of the mortgage. So that we don't have to go through that whole litigation payment.
So is this to say that a life insurance cover is necessary for you to get a mortgage?
It's definitely critical for you.
All right. And in the event where it doesn't fully cover the mortgage, that's the mortgage repayment.
Ideally, if in rare instances, but ideally in most instances, I think it should cover.
Not a problem. I'd just like to remind the viewers at home to please make sure that if you have any questions for Maribe, post them on the comment section, and we'll be sure to address them right after we have finished our session. We're now just going to go for a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more information on home loan financing with Tebo Maribe from Stanbic Bank. Stay tuned.
Ever needed a one-stop shop for property services with real professionals? Look no further than Tempest Gold. Need your house valued, your farm listed for sale, or even market researchers for your property development financing, Tempest Gold has got you covered. Our clients range from local and international, including both corporate and individual property stakeholders. Our services include property valuation, agency services, property market researches, property management, and property technology solutions. Visit our website www.tempestgold.online or get in touch with us on our social media platforms for exceptional services by our accredited professionals. Tempest Gold, your property pros.
Are you currently looking for real estate professionals to assist you with your property needs or give you expert advice? Tempest Gold has established a reputation as one of the industry's sources for property services, including estate agency. We're always on the lookout for properties for sale or to let for our pre-qualified clients. We also pride ourselves in offering exceptional services in property valuations and providing comprehensive market reports and feasibility studies to help you with your investment strategy. We introduce you to a global award-winning, forward-thinking real estate company to assist you with your real estate needs. Tempest Gold, your property pros. Re thusa ka theko, thekiso le tlhokomelo ya dikago. Leletsa Tempest Gold, re tle re go thuse.
Let's find new ways to make dreams possible. Whether you are dreaming about starting a new business, securing a good future for your family, buying a new home, or owning a new car, your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Go ka kgonega with Stanbic Bank Botswana, your dreams matter. Let's find new. All you need to know about 100% home loan financing and more just for you. Stanbic Bank gives you a chance to get 100% financing to buy your dream plot, build your dream home, or even buy it. I'm talking zero deposit with free valuation and bond registration fees. That's not all. You will get a big 10% discount on your purchase of solar hard equipment for your home. You also qualify for your home loan protection plan, which gives you 12-month retrenchment cover and household content cover. 100% financing is applicable to first-time home buyers only. Call us on 361-8152 or email homeloans@stanbic.com to become a property owner. Stanbic Bank. It can be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Property Unplugged with Stanbic Bank and Tempest Gold Property. I'm joined here by Tebo Maribe, who is the home loan specialist at Stanbic Bank. My name is Neltah Mosimanegape, and I'm from Tempest Gold. Now, our discussion for today is the purchasing and transaction process and what you, as a viewer or someone who's interested in purchasing property through Stanbic, should be made aware of. Yes. Now, before we left, we were talking a little bit about situations that occur, especially during COVID-19, if you are to become incapacitated, or if you're to lose your job, you're going to be retrenched, or your salary is cut in half, and you cannot afford the mortgage repayments like you have before. Now, I would like to ask Maribe to give us an overview of what happens in a situation where I have money, I have more money now, and I don't want to finish paying my loan quicker. Yeah. How will that go about in terms of approaching the bank, and are there any repercussions in terms of penalties, or is it something that the bank would actually encourage?
Okay. No, we would encourage such a or we would welcome it if somebody wants to make additional payments into their loan. But I think what's most important is you must let us know so that we can tell the system what it needs to do.
And make the adjustments
properly, so that it must not treat it as a normal installment, so that it must reduce. So if you are looking to make additional payments, so the idea is to reduce capital outstanding, which is the amount you owe the bank.
Right.
So let us know if you want to make an additional payment, please tell us, or come to the branch. We'll arrange for that to happen. Instances where you want to make additional payments on a monthly basis, agree that too. You can either do capital reduction, or you can do monthly top-ups on your loan.
All right. Can you just explain to the viewers what capital reduction is?
Capital reduction is reducing. It's actually in the actual statement itself. So you're just reducing the amount you're owing the bank.
Right.
By maybe making a lump sum into the loan amount.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is to say, I presume your loan repayment is 25 years?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The maximum period is about 25 years.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'm still allowed to make payments within 10 years, for example.
I mean, if you so wish, I mean, it's all, I mean, I assume for many of us when we took loans, we were young and affordability, and as we grow older, our net incomes will improve.
Yeah.
Some of us will want to maybe increase that installment relative so that it can go down quicker, so that I can maybe purchase another house later. So those are some of the things that you can do. So those are welcome suggestions from clients.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to remind the viewers at home, please make sure that you put down your questions on the comment section so that we make sure that we address all your needs towards the end of the show. Now, Maribe, I think something that we also need to possibly talk about
Yes.
is kanye tota e bua gantsi ke batho gore ke sign application form mme ke sa itse gore ke sign ela go tiletsa pampiri sign go ira x this is where you sign, this is where you write your name, and then they miss the fine print. And that's something that I as a property professional have heard people say, and I'm sure a lot of people who are not even property professionals or in the financial sector have said, but we haven't really had a chance to peruse through the application form, maybe even get legal advice to know exactly what it is we're putting ourselves into. How would you address that, and what advice would you give to someone who comes into a bank and is seeking any sort of assistance in terms of loans?
Well, they can simply demand for them to have the application form, for them to have a read over. It's an application form. Okay. They are more than at liberty to request for it, to take it home and read at the fine print, give it to somebody, you said a lawyer, who can have a look at it. But ideally, it's an application form. What is most critical, I think, it's the facility letter.
Yes.
That is the actual agreement that you and I are getting into an agreement. So that one, I think, we can also share. That one is also shared with the customer for them to view the terms and conditions, so that they mustn't come in and just sign without actually having understood what they're signing.
What they're signing.
So that is important, and that is also critical to knowledge, so that they mustn't get shocked later on.
Exactly.
When something happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So in short, they can take
Yes.
the documentation home and have
Definitely.
a look at it comfortably, have advice if they need it, and they know exactly what it is they're getting themselves
It is a
into.
contract after all.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. I hope you guys have picked that up. Please make sure that before you sign anything, you fully understand the terms and conditions, just so that you're also protected.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that the specialists at Stanbic Bank will make sure that they explain everything thoroughly to you, the T's and C's, as well as the fine prints that you may miss.
Yeah.
Now, also, I think something that that's quite interesting is the third parties that you deal with.
Yes.
Third parties that you deal with in terms of the process.
Yeah.
Who do you engage?
Thank you again for that. The process is, and I think it's critical for people to understand the process, the home loan process, because it's quite lengthy in its own. So from the origination process to when the letter of undertaking leaves the bank to the conveyancer, which is the lawyer.
Right.
The lawyer then deals with either counsel, and then bears to get a compliance certificate,
Deeds
and then
registry.
Deeds registry, and then it comes all the way back to. So those are as you call external dependencies. I like to call them dependencies because we depend on them for them to fulfill the process flow for us. Yeah.
And these dependencies, as you call it, are selected by the bank?
Well, we don't. For lawyers we have a panel.
Right.
Yes, for lawyers we have a panel of
as well as the valuation panels.
We have those, yes. So those ones, the valuers we pick them, but for lawyers the customer has the liberty to choose and when they can direct their bond.
All right. So I'm just going to take you back just a little bit with regards to the facilitation letter.
Yeah.
So say, for example, like facilitation letter is the contract now.
Facility letter, yes.
Facility letter. Thank you for the correction.
Yes.
So if I decide to change my mind, I'm no longer interested in purchasing the property, but I've already signed that facility letter. What transpires? Because in fact now this is contract law, so I'm just going to pick your brain.
So that one is, I think we can leave it to the lawyer. But what you're saying is you want to halt the application and you've changed it.
You want to cancel it.
Cancel it. Yeah. So that process needs to happen before we can issue out an undertaking to someone. So because it's critical that we understand, because if we do not give you the leeway to do that, it's at the end of the day we are here to serve you.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want to cancel it, we need to give you that leeway.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Now, some people sometimes decide to purchase as couples.
Yes.
We do have couples who are married in community of property or out of community of property. Yeah. What allowances do you make for couples?
No, we do finance. Stanbic does finance joint applications.
Oh, great.
It's called joint applications, so we do finance those as well. So if you're married in or out, you can come in and we can facilitate that for you.
Do you have to have some sort of a legal contract with them? Like when we're looking at marriage, it's obviously a legal contract, or can I just come with my friend and say, we want to apply for a joint application?
We're not there yet. I think we're not there yet in terms of, I think you're talking to if I have a partner, for instance, and I want to take up a mortgage with them.
Domestic partner.
We're not there yet. I think those are some of the things we can look into the future, for our customers.
Fantastic. Now the great thing is Stanbic is expanding throughout Botswana. We have a lot of branches coming up throughout Botswana. Stanbic is not only in Gaborone, we have Stanbic branches in Francistown and Maung and other places.
Yes.
And this makes it easier for Botswana not only to focus on the prime areas such as the cities in terms of finding mortgage financing. Can you just tell us also a little bit about what you look for when it comes to areas of financing? Do you only finance in the city? Do you only finance where there's a Stanbic branch? I know you focus a lot on the greater Gaborone region as well as Francistown, which is practically our second city. Yeah. What about other areas?
No, there are definitely other areas that we finance, i.e. Palape, Maung, Leshakane. So those are areas also that we do finance, and we can finance up to 80% loan to value all other areas of the country.
Okay. Yeah. Is this outside the city?
Outside the city, yes.
80%.
Yeah. So, for instance, if you want to up to 2, there's an up to 2 in terms of there has to be a discretion, right, to specific areas. Yes.
But in total, say for Gaborone, it's 100%.
For first-time home buyers, for first-time home buyers for Gaborone is 100% financing and greater. I mean, if you're talking the likes of Mudipane, Metsimotlabe, OD, so for first-time home buyers, they can buy within those areas.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Now, when we're looking at the purchasing process, there are always, not always, but there are always some fees that may arise out of
Yes.
nowhere. And you did mention that you finance 100% in Gaborone in the greater region and 80% in other areas.
Yeah.
Are there any fees that you'd like to communicate to the viewer at home to possibly look out for, besides the ones that are covered by Stanbic?
Yes, I think if there is, since we are specifically talking about purchase of an already existing property, so we need to look out for transfer fee, and there is...
Do you mind telling us what the transfer fee is?
Transfer fee is a legal fee for instance, there's transfer of ownership between from Tebo to Neltah. So there's a fee that the lawyers charge in that aspect.
Does that vary in any way depending?
There's a tariff that lawyers are guided by in that aspect. So they're guided by that tariff. So transfer fee would be allocated according to the bond amount which has been transferred. Yes. So then you will have, depending on if the bond amount is, or the open market value of the property is above $1 million or so. And if you're not a first-time home buyer, we're talking transfer duty now.
Right.
Yeah, so in excess of $1 million, you're paying 5% in excess of $1 million. So that's transfer duty that is bears.
And this is for citizens?
This is for citizens.
Right.
Yes. So and then additionally, you'll have arrangement fee. Arrangement fee is a processing fee for the bank, which is about 1.16% of the loan amount.
Also commission fee if you have engaged an agent as well. I think that's one of the fees that do come in play for the seller. They would have to pay a commission to the agent.
That one is an agreement between
the bank. Well, we have to go for our last commercial break, and thank you so much, Maribe.
Yes.
Again, please flood those comment section with any questions that you may have. Maribe is waiting to address all the questions and make sure that you get as much from this session as you possibly can. And remember, what Stanbic Bank, it can be.
Ever needed a one-stop shop for property services with real professionals? Look no further than Tempest Gold. Need your house valued, your farm listed for sale, or even market researches for your property development financing? Tempest Gold has got you covered. Our clients range from local and international, including both corporate and individual property stakeholders. Our services include property valuation, agency services, property market researches, property management, and property technology solutions. Visit our website www.tempestgold.online or get in touch with us on our social media platforms for exceptional services by our accredited professionals. Tempest Gold, your property pros.
Are you currently looking for real estate professionals to assist you with your property needs or give you expert advice? Tempest Gold has established a reputation as one of the industry's sources for property services, including estate agency. We're always on the lookout for properties for sale or to let for our pre-qualified clients. We also pride ourselves on offering exceptional services in property valuations and providing comprehensive market reports and feasibility studies to help you with your investment strategy. We introduce you to a global award-winning, forward-thinking real estate company to assist you with your real estate needs. Tempest Gold, your property pros. Re thusa ka theko, thekiso le tlhokomelo ya dikago. Leletsa Tempest Gold, re tle re go thuse.
New ways to make dreams possible. Whether you are dreaming about starting a new business, securing a good future for your family, buying a new home, or owning a new car, your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Go ka kgonega with Stanbic Bank Botswana, your dreams matter. Let's find new ways. All you need to know about 100% home loan financing and more just for you. Stanbic Bank gives you a chance to get 100% financing to buy your dream plot, build your dream home, or even buy it. I'm talking zero deposit with free valuation and bond registration fees. That's not all. You will get a big 10% discount on your purchase of solar hard equipment for your home. You also qualify for your home loan protection plan, which gives you 12-month retrenchment cover and household content cover. 100% financing is applicable to first-time home buyers only. Call us on 361-8152 or email homeloans@stanbic.com to become a property owner. Stanbic Bank. It can be.
Welcome back to our final installment of Property Unplugged with Stanbic Bank in collaboration with Tempest Gold Property. Thank you so much for the questions that we have received, and we're very, very excited for Mr. Maribe to give you the answers. Now, Maribe, Tato Mukhome is asking what the process of multi-residential financing for businesses is.
Well, thank you again. I think that is it's a very important question for people who are looking to get into investment vehicles for themselves. So that is something that we do offer. So the process is primarily the same because the person who we are lending to is the individual. So the process is primarily the same. So you will have to give us your KYC documentation. Right. We will have to do the valuation report, copy of the title deed. We will have to see if you can meet the criteria to purchase the multi-res.
Fantastic.
And obviously the location, it's also critical. Where is the multi-res?
Right.
Yeah.
But as an individual, you can purchase a multi-residential as well as a business.
Yes, as a business, yes, it would predominantly, if it depends really if you want to do it. If you want to do it through the business, if the business is going to own the multi-res, then it's a business application. If the title deed is done under the personal segment, then it's done under personal markets, which is us, this side.
Next question, we actually have two questions from a gentleman by the name of Brains Bond. How do they calculate affordability? I believe this is how does Stanbic calculate affordability? Can I go for a second mortgage to acquire a second a second property rather, while another one is running?
Yeah. Yes. So I think to answer the first question, thank you again for that question. Affordability, or how we calculate affordability, is based on your net earnings, on your net income. 50% of net earnings, that is a blanket. Obviously there are specifics to different arrangements we have with different employers and with place banking, but the blanket is 50% of net. That will determine if you are in a position to cater for the second mortgage or not. So the installment can run the first mortgage, and then you can see if you can be credit worthy for the second mortgage, up to a ceiling of 50% of net salary.
Right.
Yes.
Mr. Bond also has another question, and he's asking that you should please touch a little bit more on home improvements and reevaluations.
Home improvements is it's a different product. I agree, we're talking outright purchase right now. And then it's when you have home improvements, you're talking maybe equity release, where you refinance your existing structure to make improvements on your current structure. So we also finance that. It can be either an existing structure that is not bonded with the bank. It can be either it's bonded with the bank and there's some level of equity that can be released because of increased value. Right. Yes.
The next question I believe you have touched on, but just for the sake of our viewer, KK Geeting, maybe he joined us late, but what are the benefits of first-time buyers and which areas, if any, are covered for less than 100%? You don't have to go into too much detail, just for the sake of time.
Okay, thank you. So for first-time home buyers, like we have already mentioned, we finance up to 100% financing within Gaborone and Greater. So those are some of, and also for a first-time home buyer, there's also a campaign which is currently running, where we are paying for people's valuations and bond registration. Location, I think we touched on it, Greater Gaborone and other areas as well. Yes.
Great. Now we have a question coming from Mira Pearl. Good evening. I have 4 questions. I think I missed this at the beginning of the meeting. Kindly ask for a list of requirements, documents needed to qualify for mortgage. Second one, can you take it through a business account besides a personal account? Third one, how many months of the bank statement is needed when applying for mortgage? Finally, if you have an SMME and make deposits at different times, how's the monthly income calculated? I believe, as she has mentioned, she did miss this at the beginning of the meeting. With regards to the list of requirements, sir?
So I think the list of requirements is quite extensive. I can't go through all of them, but it's KYC, which is payslip, confirmation letter, ID, copy of the title deed, valuation report. So it's quite an extensive list. So I think for a better appreciation of, she can contact me directly and I can give her the full list.
Great.
Yeah.
And also, can you take it through a business account besides a personal account?
The business account, like I said, it can be done through, what she's saying is she applying through the business, or she?
Yes, she's applying for a mortgage through a business account.
Yeah, so I think we alluded to that point earlier, where we, if the business holds the title deed, then it's a business application.
Which falls on the commercial side.
Which forms on the commercial side. If the title deed is to be based on personal capacity of the individual or the director, then it becomes a personal application.
Great.
Yeah.
Then how many months of the bank statement is needed when applying for a mortgage?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's the minimum?
6 months, yes, that's the minimum. 6 months.
Finally, if you're an SMME and make deposits at different times, how's the monthly income calculated? With SMMEs, income is not always it's not always stable, so it fluctuates, and I think it's quite.
So that one is predominantly a cash flow issue, financials. So I think because what she's talking to is the income is it's up and down, it's erratic. Well, like for each and every single application, either it's if a director is applying for a mortgage, we will need financials, so they will need to do financials or cash flow projections for us to see how is the business performing.
You would need a proper case-by-case assessment.
Yeah, so because ideally if an individual is applying for the business, if he's a director of a business, then in actual sense, we are assessing the business.
Right.
Because he is the business or she is the business.
Right.
Yeah.
I trust that has answered your questions, Mira, and thank you so much for all 4 of them. Next up we have Kebalepile Ntambiwa. Question is, do you have mortgage provision for a Motswana working overseas?
And that one is a complex one. And I think that one she can engage me directly and we can have a discussion.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to give you the contact details after we're done with the show. Me Kebalepile and Maribe will be able to answer your question and engage with you on a more deeper level.
Yeah.
Next up we have Gabasimolole Kotlao, and that question is fa ke bereka gape ke na le madi a tsenang kgwedi le kgwedi a rente or any other income a le kgona go kopanya madi a gore o bone mortgage loan e botoka.
So the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can. It can be used.
So several different forms of income.
But only a stable source of income. Where she's employed at. Tebo Maribe, Stanbic. Only rental income. Rental income. That rental income, 50% of rental income will be used as part of the assessment.
Right.
So it will come. To afford something bigger.
Great.
Yeah.
So you can have a full-time job and also have a side business, and then you consolidate that and see how much in total it is in terms of cash flow projections. Great. I hope that answers your question well, Me Gabasimolole. Now we're going to move on to Pulane Pono Charlie. Are you able to clear my other loans, car and personal, with a lump sum mortgage loan so that I'm left with only one loan being the mortgage loan?
Yes, we can.
And how do you do that?
We can do that, provided there's obviously, it has to be a favorable conditions of where an open market value of the property versus purchase price are favorable to the customer for consolidation to happen.
Great.
For instance, if you're talking purchase price is 800 and value is 1 million and the loan is 200, then you could potentially consolidate up to $1 million.
Great stuff.
So that can happen.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Then we have a question from Khaolahle Mahwe Loago Didi. Do you offer equity release?
Yes.
I don't think we should go too much into that because that's actually going to be our next topic.
Yes.
So, Khaolahle, I urge you to please stay tuned for our next episode, and we'll be sure to address equity release. But in short, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Great. Tebo asks, who covers the amount for the valuation report?
We do. Like I said when we spoke earlier, we offer free valuations and bond registrations.
Fantastic.
It's a campaign which is currently running.
OB1 would like to know if do you have an MOU with would you have an MOU with my employer for me to be able to get a mortgage?
A memorandum of agreement.
Yes.
With which employer?
The employer. I'm not too certain if it's a government entity or a private entity.
I think we have different schemes with different employers. I think she can visit us so that we can get more clearer information.
Right. Obi, please feel free to contact Stanbic. Mr. Maribe will also give his details after, and he can guide you much better. Also, just understand your situation a little bit more clearer. We have Petal Musupi Pera. If I'm married in community of property and we have properties under my spouse's name, do I qualify as a first-time home buyer? That's an interesting one.
It definitely is an interesting one. Tell her to, I think for a greater engagement, I think she can visit us so that we can take it to unpack that one.
Okay. Pershal, you heard that from Mr. Maribe himself. Feel free to contact them or visit your nearest Stanbic Bank branch. Next up, we have Mili Toops. How much do you finance in Maun percentage-wise for equity?
For Maun, well, I agree Maun is one of viable areas that we finance. There's a branch in Maun, so for equity, I think we can go up to 90%.
Okay.
Depending on the collateral on offer, of course.
Definitely.
Yes.
And finally, we have a question from Mohomotsi Cedric Madume, which I think you have answered. We're actually getting a lot of inquiries from people outside of the country, Botswana, Babasandeng, Mohai, who are asking if you can purchase a house outside of Botswana through your mortgage loan. So I think maybe just retouch on that again.
Yeah, so, I think that one I'll share my details so that we could potentially engage it at length.
Great.
Yeah.
That's all we have for today. We have had quite an informative session and would like to thank all the participants who have watched the show as well as have posed questions. I think they've also just given Mr. Maribe a little bit of insight on how they can tailor-make their products to make them better for you as potential and maybe existing Stanbic clients.
Sure.
My name is Neltah Mosimanegape. I have been your host. I'm from Tempest Gold, which is a property company. Do feel free to contact us for any property services you require, such as agency, valuation, market researches, property technology, as well as consultancy. And please feel free to contact Stanbic Bank to discuss any issues regarding mortgage financing and purchase processes in anything that we have discussed that you would like more information on. Now, Remaribe, before we close the session, please, can you just let Botswana know how they can reach you through maybe your bank line,
all right,
as well as the branch that you're located at?
Thank you, our viewers, for taking the opportunity and time to give us an hearing. So my contact details email is maribet@stanbic.com.
Kindly repeat that.
Maribe, T for Tebo, @stanbic.com.
Perfect.
Contact line, direct line is 361-8152.
Please repeat that again.
Contact line is 361-8152.
Fantastic.
Remember Stanbic or Property Finance is Botswana is our home, and we brought our growth.
Definitely.
Yes.
And with Stanbic, it can be.
Yes.
It can be,
Definitely.
and they will make your
Be.
dream comes true.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Botswana Kohai, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in throughout the world. We are very excited to be providing you with more content, and we can't wait for our next discussion, which I believe will be on equity release. And
Definitely, yes.
Maribe will be shedding quite a lot of light on this topic that not many know about. Ra leboga Botswana Kohai, and we wish you a lovely evening. Thank you, Maribe.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Have a good night, everyone.
Ever needed a one-stop shop for property services with real professionals? Look no further than Tempest Gold. Need your house valued, your farm listed for sale, or even market researches for your property development financing? Tempest Gold has got you covered. Our clients range from local and international, including both corporate and individual property stakeholders. Our services include property valuation, agency services, property market researches, property management, and property technology solutions. Visit our website www.tempestgold.online or get in touch with us on our social media platforms for exceptional services by our accredited professionals. Tempest Gold, your property pros. Ever needed a one-stop shop for property service?
Are you currently looking for real estate professionals to assist you with your property needs or give you expert advice? Tempest Gold has established a reputation as one of the industry's sources for property services, including estate agency. We're always on the lookout for properties for sale or to let for our pre-qualified clients. We also pride ourselves on offering exceptional services in property valuations and providing comprehensive market reports and feasibility studies to help you with your investment strategy. We introduce you to a global award-winning, forward-thinking real estate company to assist you with your real estate needs. Tempest Gold, your property pros. Re thusa ka theko, thekiso le tlhokomelo ya dikago. Leletsa Tempest Gold, re tle re go thuse.
Ways to make dreams possible. Whether you are dreaming about starting a new business, securing a good future for your family, buying a new home, or owning a new car, your dream becomes real the moment you believe it can be. Go ka kgonega with Stanbic Bank Botswana. Your dreams matter. All you need to know about 100% home loan financing and more just for you. Stanbic Bank gives you a chance to get 100% financing to buy your dream plot, build your dream home, or even buy it. I'm talking zero deposit with free valuation and bond registration fees. That's not all. You will get a big 10% discount on your purchase of solar hard equipment for your home. You also qualify for your home loan protection plan, which gives you 12-month retrenchment cover and household content cover. 100% financing is applicable to first-time home buyers only. Call us on 361-8152 or email homeloans@stanbic.com to become a property owner. Stanbic Bank. It can be. All you